Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of the BNI Interview Show, where we have conversations with BNI members. For those of you who don't know, BNI is a referral marketing networking group where entrepreneurs meet weekly to support each other. My name is Mary Hoffman. I am an advisor, and I am with the Partners in Growth in San Diego. And we today are getting to know our network. I am a guest interviewer today, by the way, folks, so bear with us. Today, we're having a conversation with Antoine Didienne of 147 Photos. Antoine, welcome.
Hi. I'm usually the
Hi.
one asking the questions, so it's
I
kind of fun now.
know.
I get
How
to sit
weird does it
back.
feel?
Oh, it's cool.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
So
cool.
obviously we've got a couple things that
Yeah.
everybody wants to know about you. One of the reasons why we're doing this is because you're actually going to be talking to our group next week, next Wednesday, July 14th. And so it's helpful to give everybody a bit of a teaser as to who you are and what do you do. So
Sure.
who are you and what do you do?
Okay. Well, with that accent, I'm obviously French. So I was born and raised there. Let's start there with the basics. I'm French. I'm American now. I'm a photographer, basically. And I mostly shoot. I consider myself a documentary photographer that shoots weddings, that does portraits and things like this. But first and foremost, I come from the point of view that I'm a documentary photographer. And that's something that means only something, I think, to me, but I think it's important for me to in terms of I think I say that because it's a question of authenticity when in terms of me taking photos, right? And where I come from in terms of like what matters to me is storytelling and making beautiful photos, but storytelling. I know it's very cliche. I'm a storyteller, I take photos and stuff, but no, but very sincerely, this means something to me. So I do consider myself to be a documentary photographer. Even when I take portraits, I consider myself to be a character photographer, not a portrait photographer.
I've not heard that term before. That's cool.
For the same reason, because I want the photos that I take of people to mean something, not just to pose people, right? And we'll talk about how I do that in a little bit later in the show, I guess. But
okay, cool. And I can speak to that because you have definitely captured our family's character on film several times.
3 times, right? I think.
To date, there'll be more, I'm sure.
Right? To date.
So what brought you to BNI?
Honestly, I was looking for my like-minded people. I knew I wanted to be part of a bigger group of people because when I was starting my business, I ran out of friends and families that would let me shoot them, very not quickly, but after a while, I was like, okay, well, I need to expand my horizons. Like, who do I want to connect to? And I don't even remember how I heard about BNI, to be honest. But I was recommended that I look into it. And the week later, with super coincidence, week later, I get a friend of a friend who was in touch, who knew Trish Ellingson.
Yep.
And she posted in a Facebook group that just bounced around 3 times before it got to me. And that person referred me to Trish. I got in touch with Trish, and I came to Partners in Growth. And like I said, one meeting. That's all I needed to know. One meeting. BNI is pricey, right? It's not free. It's not a free networking group. It is, but again, with everything, like in photography, you get what you pay for.
Amen. Yes, 100%. In my world too. Yeah.
Yeah, because for free networking events, you get all types of people
you expect.
And you get all types of people that and all types of commitment from the people that go there. Sometimes some people are extremely dedicated. I've been to some of these that are, dedicated and do things right, but other times it's more like you give a bunch of business cards for an hour, and you never hear from these people ever again.
Yeah.
And that's not what I wanted. I wanted to be part of a community, and that's exactly what I got with BNI. So, honestly, that's a
Nice.
no, but it's true. It's
Yeah.
I wanted to build relationships. I didn't want to be. I didn't want to shake hands, give my business card, and just leave. But yeah. So that's how I came to BNI, and that's how I stayed in BNI.
Nice. One thing that a lot of people are talking about right now is some of the challenges they're seeing in their space. So what's one of the biggest challenges that's facing your business right now?
I mean, during the pandemic, it was pretty rough, frankly. So from a person who was doing in-home photo shoots,
Right.
in my clients' homes, right? Because I'm a documentary family photographer, where I go in my clients' homes and I spend the day with them, and I create a documentary of their day. That's what it's called, a documentary family photography. It's kind of an entry in a journal, right? If you want to compare it to that.
Nice.
And that's how I shoot,
Mm-hmm.
right? I shoot candid. I shoot, in the moment. I create and I tell the stories of the people that I'm with. And I do weddings and I do events. All that went away. So
Overnight.
yeah, and so I had to pivot. Fortunately, I pivoted. I have my studio right behind me. So unfortunately, I was able to do that very rapidly and seamlessly. And I actually found greater success in that pivot than I had in my previous time as a photographer. I blossomed, frankly, as a photographer when I became I call myself a reluctant portrait photographer, because I didn't plan. I didn't plan to be a portrait photographer. I didn't really like portrait photography until I'd say about 6 months before the pandemic, where I had started to dabble into it, and I was like, "Oh, okay, this is something." I'm starting to understand why this is something so attractive to the photographer, right, or to the client, and I would say about a month and a half before the pandemic, I started a project that Brock has been part of. Brock, your husband, has been part of.
Yes. Yeah.
On fathers and their children, because again, for me, it was part of I wanted to explore longer form storytelling and longer form project through portrait photography, right? Because usually portrait photography is very simple. You come in for a session, boom, boom, done, right? And after that, next client. But there is, but in the sense that there is little continuity, right, in between sessions and in between clients. I wanted to find a thread, a storytelling thread that would unite all these people, and I chose to work on fatherhood because this is what I know. I'm a dad. I have 2 kids, 2 daughters. One of them is about to come in.
There they are.
Hi.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, right. Hi, monkey. Do you mind if I finish my conversation with my friend?
Can you give me something short to eat?
Yes, give me 5 minutes. We're gonna have to wrap this up real quickly so that I can get back to this little monkey.
Sure.
But yeah, so this is what I did, right? I created this project on fathers and kids because for me it was important to change the way fatherhood was seen. I think,
Yeah.
Because it felt a lot like still like we are financial providers. We should be, like there are expectations of fathers, etc., that I don't think match with the current perspective of what fathers are like.
Yeah.
It was just a different, difference of generation, right? My father was a certain type of father. I'm very different from how he behaved as a father. So that's what I wanted to do, and I found great success, frankly, in it. It has opened a bunch of doors. I've photographed 40 different fathers, and it's been incredibly rewarding in terms of, for me personally, and in terms of storytelling. And it's been published in magazines. It's not something that I was expecting, to come out of it. But like I said, I've kind of blossomed as a portrait photographer, and
I love
as a
that.
character photographer.
A key success story right there. So as we get to wrap up, Antoine,
yes,
who would be your ideal referral partner? The person that may be the person that can connect you with the right types of folks that want that storytelling.
So it depends. It depends on what we're talking about. For weddings, which I absolutely enjoy doing weddings. For weddings, it's anybody who's getting married.
Okay.
Simple, right? Or event
Easy.
planners or florists and people like this. For portraits, I really enjoy working one-on-one with someone, much more than doing family portraits. I love that one-on-one time that I get more to explore with that person. I get to establish more connection with that person. Anybody who's more interested in any artist, any like writer, CEOs, things, people of that nature that want to have a really awesome portrait of themselves. That's the people I want to connect to.
I love that. And you take beautiful photos for sure.
Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Well, everyone, that is it for today. If you're interested in getting to know our group, there's, by the way, several more people that are just as crazy as we are. I believe the URL will either be put right below the video or in the comments section. So again, thanks so much for tuning in today. Antoine, thank you so much for everything you're doing, changing the world one picture at a time, for sure.
If only.
Yes.
No. Bye.
Okay, so bye.